Hello, dear aspirants. Welcome to Guidely. My name is Rakhi, and I welcome you all in this very amazing session of descriptive writing. And the topic we have is identifying core ideas for Precis writing. So, if I talk about Precis, basically, if you have 100 words, you are supposed to write one third of 100 words, approximately 33 words, and you cannot skip the main idea, and you need to delete some additional details that are not very relevant for the information. So प्रेसी को आप precise से भी याद कर सकते हो. Means if I am giving you a full paragraph and I'm asking you to summarize this in just one or two sentences and you need to keep the all main details, this is basically you need to do in Prezi. So let's know every single step, the perfect tips and tricks, and at the end of the session I am going to show that how to use the tips and tricks to make your Prezi amazing. So let's get started. The first one, you must view every passage as having three layers. See, आप like SBI के एग्जाम में जाते हो या आप अदर किसी एग्जाम में जाते हो, जैसे अभी हम लोग OICL के लिए कर रहे हैं, फॉर एनी एग्जामिनेशन प्रेसी अगर आपके पास है तो आपको पहले उस पैराग्राफ को पढ़ना है एंड पैराग्राफ को पढ़ के आपको उसमें से थ्री लेयर्स को आइडेंटिफाई करना है. Number one is layer one. In layer one, what is it? Means the main argument, the central claim, or the primary event. If you remove these, then your paragraph will make no sense. Number two, where is it usually found? Often in the first sentence, introduction of the idea, or maybe the last sentence, sometimes in the conclusion, you will find the main idea. Then you have some key indicators to look for strong verbs and definitive statements. They are definitely going to help you. So, layer number one, the thesis you need to keep, you cannot ignore, you cannot eliminate them. Well, let's talk about now layer number two. Layer number two, the evidence. Whenever you state any main point, you always give some examples, stats, some data to it. So, this can be any data, reasons, or explanations that support the thesis, the main thesis. Action, you need to acknowledge this exists but compress it heavily. If you are going to write the full argument, and then the evidence, then how will you going to minimize it, because you are supposed to do one third of the entire section, right? Key indicators, please find the words like this is because, due to, or as a result, or consequently, etc. Then let's talk about layer number third, which is the ornamentation. Completely delete hone wala part. When you describe something, you give an example, then you keep some great adjectives to elaborate it more or to make it more wordy. Here you don't have to be verbose. So what you need to do, you need to remove these adjectives, metaphors, more examples, repetitions, and rhetorical questions. करना क्या है आपको? The action should be ignore these completely. They add zero value to a summary. So the key indicators are, for example, such as, in other words, to illustrate, to compare, blah blah. So remove these, the whole ornamentation part we don't need for our Prezi. I'm gonna tell you step by step कि इनको कैसे identify और कैसे delete करते हैं. The connector strategy. The easiest way to spot a core idea, layer number one, is to look for specific pivot words. These words signal that the author is about to state the main point. तो कैसे होगा? जैसे the however family. फॉर एग्जाम्पल अगर मैं आपको एक बात बता रही हूँ और मैं एकदम से आपसे बोलूँ बट ये हो गया, तो यस बट के बाद वाला पॉइंट इज सुपर इंपॉर्टेंट. सो बट येट नेवरदलेस ऑल्दो दे आर टेलिंग मी दैट नाउ जो भी कंडीशन है इसकी रिवर्स होने वाली है, राइट? So the sentence immediately following these words is almost always a core one. You cannot ignore it. You need to read it very, very carefully. It represents the twist or the real reality. The therefore family does, hence, consequently, so. अगर कॉन्सिक्वेंटली किसी चीज के रीजन को बताने में हेल्प कर रहा है, जो कि लाइक जैसे हमने यहाँ पे लेयर नंबर 2 में भी मैंने उसकी बात की थी, तो बेसिकली एक पॉइंट का दूसरा पॉइंट निकाल रहा है। बट अगर ये कॉन्सिक्वेंटली एक ही पॉइंट से सिर्फ बता रहे कि हुआ क्या है, इन दैट केस यू शुड नॉट इग्नोर इट. इट इज अबाउट टू स्टेट द मेन पॉइंट और अ मेजर like result that what has happened. So these signals the conclusions are always core ideas. Then let's take an example for this. So we have a general topic. Okay, the sentence we have is the magnificent and towering Himalayas, which have stood as a silent sentinel for millions of years, effectively act as a massive barrier that prevents the cold, dry winds of Central Asia from entering the Indian subcontinent. If you look द मेन कोर, तो 3 लेयर अगर मैं यहाँ पे बनाती हूँ, तो मेरा जो मेन पार्ट है वो है कि हिमालय एक बैरियर के जैसे काम कर रहा है इंडिया के लिए, राइट? और जो हिमालयाज हैं वो हमें हमेशा प्रोटेक्ट करते हैं. दिस इज द मेन पार्ट. लेयर नंबर 2, अगर मैं बात करूँ यहाँ पे एविडेंस की, तो इसने बताया यहाँ पे जैसे कि ये जो यहाँ पे भाई ड्राई विंड्स हैं, ये बहुत लाइक हमें परेशान कर सकती हैं, या जैसे कि ठंड को रोकता है, तो एक ही बात है अगेन, राइट? अगर मैं यहाँ पे बात करूँ ऑर्नामेंटेशन की, तो मैग्निफिसेंट, टावरिंग और स्टूड एज अ साइलेंट सेंटिनल over like millions of years, massive, all these words are only there to make it look bigger. आपको इन्हीं को हटाना है. तो now let's precise it. Read it now. The Himalayas protect India from Central Asian winds. क्या यहाँ पे वो मीनिंग नहीं आ रहा जो ऊपर आ रहा था? तो आपने 3.5 लाइंस को सिर्फ 1.5 लाइन में करके छोड़ा है. And you are getting every sense. Himalayas, yes, they are very, very, very tall, very towering. We all know. Massive wind से हमें बचाते हैं. That is also true. किस region को बचाते हैं? Central Asian winds से हमें वो protect करते हैं. Everything is clear. Now we have removed two unimportant parts, and we have kept the core idea from these lines. Let's move ahead, and example number B. Let's talk about your exam now. OICL focus. So this time we have, in the recent fiscal year, it has been observed that a significant number of insurance claims were outrightly rejected by companies, primarily due to the fact that policyholders frequently failed to disclose pre-existing medical conditions like diabetes or hypertension at the same time of purchasing the पॉलिसी. अब हमें करना क्या है? हमें यहाँ से अब एक्स्ट्रा चीजों को यहाँ से रिमूव करना है, राइट? तो एक्स्ट्रा चीजों को अगर हम रिमूव करेंगे तो क्लियर सी बात है, सबसे पहले यहाँ पर अपना कोर आइडिया ढूंढते हैं. 2 तरीके से हम इसे कर सकते हैं, या तो पहले कोर आइडिया ढूंढे या फिर हम पहले ऑर्नामेंट्स ढूंढ लें. अगर हम सबसे पहले ऑर्नामेंट ढूंढते हैं, तो ऑर्नामेंट में रीसेंट फिस्कल ईयर आ गया, राइट? वेट अ सेकेंड. इसके बाद और क्या आ जाएगा? ये आउटराइटली आ जाएगा, आउटराइटली आ जाएगा, राइट? And also a frequently word also we can remove, right? So this portion we can delete easily. लेयर नंबर 2, अगर मैं एविडेंस की बात करूं, तो एविडेंस में आ गया जैसे कि फेल्ड टू डिस्क्लोज प्री एग्जिस्टिंग मेडिकल कंडीशन. कोर आइडिया है कि क्लेम्स जो हैं वो रिजेक्ट हो गए बिकॉज ऑफ सम रीजन, है ना? तो क्लेम्स को रिजेक्ट किया गया ड्यू टू प्री एग्जिस्टिंग मेडिकल कंडीशंस. तो मतलब सिंपली क्लेम्स वर रिजेक्टेड ड्यू टू, एंड देन गिव द रीजन. लेट्स चेक द राइट आंसर. इंश्योरेंस क्लेम्स वर रिजेक्टेड ड्यू टू नॉन डिस्क्लोजर ऑफ मेडिकल हिस्ट्री. डन. डायबिटिक है या ये है या वो है, ये सब क्या है? ये सब तो मेडिकल हिस्ट्रीज है ना, राइट? सो लेट्स फाइंड अ वर्ड जो उस वाले सेंस को पूरे को मिला के दे, एक्स्ट्रा भी ना हो और 1/3 भी हो जाए. तो लेट्स रिमूव ऑर्नामेंटल लेयर, evidence layer, and then layer number 1, which is the core. We need to keep it here. The 4 filtration layers, practical techniques. Filter number 1, the example traps. Generalized condition में अगर मैं आपको बताऊं यहाँ पे, तो ये बहुत बार होता है कि आप क्या करते हो, आप ना मतलब आपको लग रहा है कि एग्जाम्पल तो बहुत ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है, अगर मैंने इसको हटा दिया तो ये तो नहीं हो जाएगा, वो तो नहीं हो जाएगा. तो passage often lists specific items to prove a point. Okay, in a precis you never list, you categorize. मतलब अगर कोई भी ऑथर है, तीन या तीन से ज्यादा आइटम्स को वो रखता है, तो आपको उन्हें कैटेगरी नेम या अम्ब्रेला टीम में रखना होता है. मतलब lists eat up your word count, categories save space. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, उसने आपको बोला कि ना ये टाइप के फ्यूल्स हैं, अगले में आपको बोला ये टाइप की कंट्रीज में ये मिलते हैं, और थर्ड में आपको बोला ये टाइप के पॉल्यूटेंट्स ये लेकर आते हैं. तो लेट्स टॉक अबाउट द थ्री कैटेगरीज ना, पोल्यूशन, कंट्रीज एंड सॉरी फ्यूल, कंट्रीज एंड पॉल्यूटेंट्स. तो अगर हम हर बार हर एक चीज के प्रॉपर एग्जांपल्स देने बैठ जाएंगे, इट इज गोइंग टू टेक अ लॉट ऑफ टाइम एज वेल एज वी आर प्रिसाइजिंग इट ना. इफ वी आर प्रिसाइजिंग इट, वी नीड टू समराइज इट. अगर समराइज करेंगे तो वर्ड्स को हमें फिनिश करना पड़ेगा. इन दैट केस, remember that the categorization is easier, right? The intense storm destroyed wheat, rice, maize, and barley crops across the region. 14 words हैं. Wheat, rice, maize, barley सब क्या है? सब grains या crop है ना. तो let's categorize it. The storm destroyed crops. 4 words only. One more example, the policy covers damages caused by fire, theft, burglary, floods, and earthquakes. All right. The policy covers various risks. Fire, theft, or flood. क्या है? ये सब risks हैं, right? The policy covers various में different types आ गए. Risks, one category which is having all the words, right? आगे बढ़ते हैं. Filter number 2, the data diet. Sometimes passage may be full of numbers, percentages, and data. And you need to understand that you can't put data every single time when you are writing precisely. So don't copy them unless they are historical milestones. Yes, if you talk about like in 1972, you cannot remove it. It is important. But if you are giving many data and many facts, you need to remove that. So replace specific stats with the direction of the trend. क्यों? Because Precis argument का summarization है, कोई data sheet थोड़ी है, right? So remember this point. Okay, the company's profit margin surged from a mere 2% in 2020 to a massive 15% in 2024. Wow, so big. Filter applied 2% to 15%, basically अच्छा खासा increase हुआ. Something was at 2%, now something is at 15%. Basically, it is a very good increase, है ना? The company's profit increased significantly over 4 years. तो 17 वर्ड से 8 वर्ड्स में हम इसको ले आए हैं, like less than half actually, one word से. One more, nearly 78.5% of the rural population does not have access to any form of life insurance. All right, so 78.5% is basically majority, है ना? अगर 50% से ऊपर का है तो majority में जा रहा है, right? यहाँ पर the majority of the rural population lacks life insurance, because you cannot remove the core data, but yes, you can remove this exact figure and you can just say majority of the rural population does not have. को आप सिर्फ और सिर्फ लैक्स में यहाँ पर चेंज कर सकते हो. एनी फॉर्म ऑफ लाइफ इंश्योरेंस इज जस्ट लाइफ इंश्योरेंस. सो दिस इज हाउ यू कट डाउन and then you write your Precis. Well, filter number 3, the adjective purge, removal of fluff. When you see so many words together, a tall, dark, mysterious stranger is just a stranger. A stranger is a stranger, na? Like, what is the point of tall hai, dark hai, mysterious hai? जब पता ही नहीं है तो पता ही नहीं है. So, original, for example, the exhausted and weary soldiers marched slowly through the thick, muddy, and treacherous swamp. All righty, I can imagine everything. It sounds as a story from a novel. So, let's summarize it. The soldiers marched through the swamp. 6 words, you know, soldiers हैं. March क्या? Swamps मतलब दलदल में से निकल के, तो यार it must have been difficult, right? हमें बताने की जरूरत नहीं कि दलदल thick होता है, muddy होता है, obviously होता है. Well, filter number 4, the quote conversation. Never use question mark in a Precis. रूल, आप शॉर्ट इन कर रहे हो, आप कोई किसी से कोई सवाल नहीं पूछ रहे हो, तो अगर कभी भी कोई भी डायरेक्ट स्पीच है, आप उसको इनडायरेक्ट स्पीच में रखो. कभी भी कोमा, इन्वर्टेड कोमास को आप यूज नहीं करोगे. आप कभी भी कोटेशन मार्क्स यूज नहीं करोगे. आपको कोई सवाल भी नहीं पूछना है और ना ही कभी आपको कोई भी सरप्राइजिंगली फैक्ट यहाँ पर स्टेट करना है। तो अगर आप बोलें कि प्रधानमंत्री ने इनसे ये कहा कि दिस एंड दैट दैट दैट, तो अगर उनका सिमिलर सेंटेंस है, ट्राई टू शॉर्टन इट, रिमूव द comma inverted commas, use the rule of indirect speech, and then write your sentence. For example, the CEO said, comma inverted commas, we must focus on digital transformation to survive in this competitive market. Okay, so basically must means we must do this, emphasize किया है ना. ओके क्या करने को, डिजिटल ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन को, टू सर्वाइव इन दिस कॉम्पिटिटिव मार्केट. ओके, तो कॉम्पिटिटिव मार्केट में सर्वाइव करना इज जस्ट सर्वाइवल ना, सो जस्ट रिमूव इट. So the CEO emphasized the need for digital transformation for survival. Survive आप कहीं पर भी करो, survival is survival, right? So जीने के लिए survival ही होता है, मार्केट में कंपटीशन में सर्वाइव करना ही कॉल सर्वाइवल. दैट्स व्हाई ऑप्शन नंबर, जो ये हमारा सॉरी द वर्ड जो हमारे बनते हैं ये कॉम्पिटिटिव मार्केट, ये रिमूव हो जाएगा. मस्ट की जगह पे हम यहाँ पर एम्फेसाइज द नीड ऑफ लगा देंगे, एंड नाउ इट इज shortened than the like above one. Well, let's see now a full example to get the picture more like better, not more, clearer and better. Okay, ready? So we have 158 words and let's read it. The rapid rise of the gig economy in India, driven by platforms like Swiggy, Zomato, and Uber, has fundamentally altered the employment landscape. While this shift offers flexibility and independence to millions of workers, it has simultaneously exposed a glaring gap in social security. Unlike traditional salaried employees who benefit from provident funds, health insurance, and paid leave, gig workers are often classified as partners and contractors. Consequently, they are deprived of these essential safety nets. In the event of an accident, illness, or economic downturn, these workers are left financially vulnerable with no institutional support. Although the government has recently introduced the Code on Social Security to address this issue, implementation remains sluggish. Therefore, to ensure sustainable growth, it is imperative that platforms, companies, and policymakers collaborate to create a robust framework that guarantees minimum wages and insurance coverage for this workforce. All right, so basically गिग इकोनॉमी की बात हो रही है एंड साथ ही साथ बात हो रही है कि उसमें प्रॉब्लम्स क्या हैं, इन प्रॉब्लम्स के लिए गवर्नमेंट क्या कर रही है उसकी भी बात हो रही है, राइट? तो चलो एक काम करते हैं, कोर आइडिया को आइडेंटिफाई करते हैं, जो भी पार्ट हमारा अनइम्पॉर्टेंट है उसको हटा देते हैं. सो लेट्स डू इट टुगेदर. इफ आई टॉक अबाउट द फर्स्ट लाइन, तो फर्स्ट लाइन में यहाँ से लेके यहाँ तक का बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, राइट? अच्छा, ड्रिवन बाय प्लेटफॉर्म लाइक दिस इन दिस. ओके, गिग इकोनॉमी में यही सारे वर्ड्स आएंगे. ओके, बट यस, it has altered the employment landscape. That is very important. Okay, so it offers flexibility. That's right. It has exposed a gap in social security, is again important. Then unlike this in this की कोई जरूरत नहीं है. Yes, now the point is important that these are called contractors or partners. That is important again. And the safety net thing we also cannot ignore because this is again important point. आगे बढ़ते हैं. So left financially vulnerable, ठीक है, वो यही same sense बनकर आता है. Now although the government has recently introduced something, okay, तो ये वाली line हमारी यहाँ पर आ जाएगी. Then social security, okay, तो it is imperative वाली line खुद हमें यहाँ से लेनी पड़ेगी, ये सही पॉइंट है. एंड लास्ट वाला पॉइंट जो है वो रखा जा सकता है थोड़ा सा चेंज करके. तो अब देखो ये पूरा जितना रह गया है ये सब किसी काम का नहीं है हमारा. लुक एट इट नाउ, क्लियर एंड better. Okay, the rise of the gig economy has altered employment while offering flexibility. It has exposed a gap in social security. Gig workers are classified as contractors and deprived of safety nets. Although the government introduced a code on social security, implementation is slow. It is imperative that companies and policymakers collaborate to guarantee wages and insurance. Now it sounds complete, giving you the entire idea. and we just need this skeleton, not all the fluff things here. The examples are actually the fat. So you need to make the muscles, है ना? तो बहुत सारा फैट होने की जरूरत नहीं है. ऐसे ही यहाँ पर ये जो फैट है, एक्स्ट्रा डिटेल्स ये हमने यहाँ से हटा दिया है. So this is how you make it precise when you work on any précis. I hope now it makes sense. Clear to everyone? Easy है ना? Okay, so let's understand the whole way. So segment, action and reason. तो पहला था driven by platforms like Swiggy, Zomato. So yes, we deleted them because बहुत सारी companies के names आ रहे हैं. तो gig economy में already सब कुछ आ गया. That's why we have deleted them. Unlike traditional employees provident fund, हमने delete कर दिया. Why? Because it is comparison and we don't need to write this as well. Accidents, illness, economic downturn, they all come under one umbrella. So basically, these all are the risks or vulnerabilities. That's why they all come under umbrella. So filter number 2, filter number 3, filter number 1. Okay, आगे बढ़ते हैं. Segment, then action मतलब क्या हमें रखना है. The core idea classified as partners or contractors, very 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 important, है ना. Then this is a specific solution code on social security. We cannot remove that. Guarantees minimum wages or insurance. This is what government should do. The core idea is the concluding demand and solution, which we cannot skip again here. So this is how you work on it. All right. So basically, draft number 1 is the metal outline. Gig economy rose but lacks social security. Workers are contractors without benefits. They face risks, and government law is slow, and companies must collaborate to fix this. These are the 5 to 6 points that I could remember, so I wrote them here. Similarly, when you solve a Précis, please try to make the points of the like bullet points of 5 or 6 points so that you can write them and with using the right connectors. Okay. Well, I hope now you understand this. See, like we need to use the professional language. That is also super important. Like you can't be very, casual here because your language has to be formal. It's super important because you are writing for the bank exam. Apart from that, if I talk about like what is other strategy, so many people do not need any rules and tips and tricks. So what they do, they very easily just read and just understand. But if you stuck anywhere, आपको लगता है कि इसको पिक करूं कि नहीं करूं, तो बस एक ही सवाल पूछ लेना खुद से ना कि what is the topic about. सबसे पहले what is the topic about, है ना. What are the main details, and then what is the conclusion from it. What you need to remove, extra details from every single segment you need to remove. I hope it makes sense now. Clear to everyone? Yes. So now I want just a second. Now I want to show you one homework. Wait a second. There's one more. This is about NPAs. I can read it for you. The Indian banking sector is currently witnessing a silent crisis of non-performing assets. Years of aggressive lending to corporate giants without adequate collateral have left balance sheets bleeding. The reckless accumulation of bad loans have now restricted the bank's ability to lend to new healthy businesses, thereby stalling overall banking growth, economic growth. The introduction of the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code was a bold step to recover these dues. By allowing banks to take control of defaulting companies, the law has finally instilled a fear of compliance among borrowers. All righty. So if you look at this paragraph, the Indian banking system is witnessing a crisis of NPAs. कई साल हो गए, कुछ भी like आया नहीं वापस, blah blah, important नहीं है. Reckless lending has restricted the bank's ability to support now the new businesses. पहले वो जितना लोन दे चुके हैं, तो इसकी वजह से वो नए businesses को help नहीं कर पा रहे हैं. Because of that, You are talking about the stalling economic growth. The introduction of the insolvency and bankruptcy code was a step to recover these dues. And then the law has instilled compliance among borrowers. So this is now our final paragraph, only 44 words. And initially you had, obviously there like must be around 100 and even more words here. I hope now you understood what I wanted to convey. I actually showed you the exact way how you summarize, how you delete the details, what you don't need here, you need to omit them. So now it's time to show you the homework, everyone. So this is your homework. So this is about rapid urbanization and it talks about some crisis. So you need to read it and please write 50 words in the comment section. I'll wait for your comments. So just read it. Try to put the three layers. Layer number one, the core idea. Layer number two, where you give the evidence. And layer number three, the ornamentation that you need to delete completely. So if you work according to these three layers, you are not going to make any mistake. Your Prezi will be amazing. Acha, one more point I forgot to tell you in this class. I always tell you, whenever you write a précis, it's super important to give it the title. For example, the NPA crisis and corrective measures, because the government is taking some measures, and how the policy, how the measures will work, that we don't know. So we just knew about the NPA crisis and the corrective measures. Similarly, whenever you see any praise, it's super important to give it the title. The title must be just 5 to 6 words maximum. इससे ज़्यादा बड़ा हम title नहीं रखते हैं. And the marks for title are always there, so don't lose them. I hope now it is clear to everyone. And if you have any more doubts or anything, like you are preparing for the exam and you are actually like seeing any problem, facing any challenge, please comment me. I will try to resolve your query as soon as possible. Apart from that, whether it's essay or it's précis or any other descriptive or even objective exam, for example, आप reading comprehension solve करते हो, आप close test solve करते हो, आप para jumble solve करते हो, आप error spotting करते हो. For all these things, your reading skill is super duper important. अगर आप रीड करने में आप स्टक हो रहे हो, मीनिंग को अंडरस्टैंड करने में आप टाइम ज़्यादा लगा रहे हो, तो सॉल्व करने में भी टाइम ज़्यादा लगेगा. तो अगर आप में से किसी की ये प्रॉब्लम है कि मैं जो रीड करते वक्त उसको एफिशिएंटली समझ नहीं पा रहा हूँ या समझ नहीं पा रही हूँ, please go and read the articles, especially from the Hindu newspaper. So when exam is so near and you don't have much time, please read the main articles or the editorials, and they are going to help you a lot. So even for solving reading comprehensions, we always guide our students that please first try to read and then comprehend. So reading comprehension, basically read and understanding. So for Prezi and for all written work, you need to read and understand. Enhance this skill as well as work on your typing. What if your brain is braining smoothly, you are able to get all the sense, but you are not able to you are not able to type properly, or you are making a lot of mistakes, so that can cost you like really badly in your exam. So here in the descriptive, it's very important to maintain a good typing speed, so please work on that as well. Apart from that, if you are looking for the mock tests or any other series, then for this particular exam, Guidely has a proper series. You can just go to the website and find there for OICL exam. And for this, you will find the sets, like there will be for essay, and there will be for Tracy, and there will be like mixed sets as well. And the best part is, for OICL exam, the main focus should be on the insurance type of thing, as the examination belongs to that category. So you are going to get the AI driven feedback as well. When you submit any answer, you can get it checked by AI tool, and it is going to show you the mistakes that you have made and what can be the better version of this essay or of this précis. So if you ask me like what is easier between essay and précis, so précis is much easier because you have the data, you have the information, you just need to omit some information out and you just need to keep the core idea. So forget about more many examples and like ornamentations, I mean the adjectives, and keep the core idea there. I have given you all like much advice today. So I hope it it helps you. So all the best once again. I'm gonna see you again in the next one, and please comment what is troubling you so that I can bring another video on that. So bye bye, take care, and all the best for your exam.